Good morning, everyone. I am at the Toronto Audio Fest, and this year they're doing it in 2 hotels. So no pretty girls like last video. Guys, I think I'm at the wrong audio show. Is this an audio show or is this a model show? We might not have pretty girls here, but we got ice cream here. There we go. Today's video will be split into 2 parts. The first part will be me going around trying to discover new things. And then the second part will be me asking tough questions. Or maybe I should say specific questions to manufacturers. Because if you ask a general question like, why should I choose your product? Everybody's going to say, because my product sounds amazing. It sounds like you're there. It's emotionally engaging, blah, blah, blah. For me, that's not an answer. Because everybody's going to say the same thing. So I'll be very specific in how I pose my questions. Before we begin, let me show you what happens after the show. Man, the food is amazing. And at nighttime, they hand out awards. And I like to take a moment to congratulate Jay for winning an award. Hey, so proud of you. Now we're talking. This is worth coming. That looks good. Cheesecake. Look at that. Burnt Basque cheesecake.
This award was created to recognize the incredible talent and dedication of the younger generation to our industry.
I'm kind of left speechless because I did not expect that. Wow, I'm a YouTuber and I can't speak. What have you guys done?
Like and subscribe.
These Ruark speakers blew me away. Why? The bass is incredible. Look at the inside port. It's very different. And the biggest surprise, $9.99 US, something like that. Now, Ruark is a company that's been around for 40 years. These are the Sabre R bookshelf speakers. And the mid-range, I noticed, is a little bit forward. So definitely, probably measures very good then. Usually that's my experience. When speakers measure well, the mid-range is a little bit forward. Now, the speakers were driven by this little nice box here, the Ruark R610. It has everything. I mean, everything built in. Spotify Connect, Tidal Connect, Internet Radio, FM radio, phono, HDMI ARC, and I think it was around 1,007 US. Class D, 75 watt. Very impressive set. Leonid, man, this thing looks like a Death Star or something, right? It's floating. It's not traditional design. It's from Elipson.
Yeah, it's Elipson Tribute 4 of 2 speakers, new speakers.
Here, I'll hold this for you.
Yeah,
so you
I'll
can
take
use 2
it.
hands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so.
Very cool driver there.
Okay, it looks like a 6-7 inch.
It's a 6.5 inch driver.
Okay.
Super box, and
And then you have a what? Super tweeter on top.
Oops, here you go. $8,000.
Canadian,
Pair,
right?
Canadian, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't tell me they sound good because every speaker sounds good here. Okay. I will ask you then. This compared to this.
Key acoustics.
What is the main difference?
You know, it sounds wider a bit. Well, let's say it sounds like a room. You know, it sounds like open baffle speaker too.
So you say it sounds a bit like open baffle then?
You know, it's the character of the speaker is different a bit than open baffle.
Okay, so not open baffle then.
It's not open baffle completely, but you know, they have a big sound. The way they build sound stage is like it's not like a box speaker. You can see it's around. There's actually the sound exactly like that.
Around.
It's becoming like, you know, very like sphere. I don't know. It's
all right. Show me then. Let's just listen to it then.
In the daylight.
The soundstage is very special. The way it expands the soundstage is different than what I've used to. The way I would describe, maybe, as you say, it's like we're sitting in a bubble or something. All right, so now I'm getting Leonid to put on the other Elipson. See, these Elipson speakers, I had them at my place for a while. So I'm kind of familiar with them. And we're trying to put our finger on what makes these speakers special, these white ones. They are special. They're just very different. And by putting in a regular speaker, maybe we have a better understanding of what I'm hearing. Like, what is the difference? Even Leonid was like, he was saying it's like eating some kind of food. you know there's something special, but you don't know how to describe it. So, all right, so we power up this normal Elipson speakers. The first reaction is the soundstage is way smaller compared to the white speakers. Like these are small speakers now. Like the white speakers feels like 2-3 times the size. Right? Until you A/B test, you don't know, man.
Yeah, you don't
right? Yeah. All right, so after we listened to the white Death Star, I thought, any other speaker I listen to will be very bland in terms of soundstage. But that's not true. These Elac surprised me, and they sound open. However, the biggest amazing part is that they have these ring-ish thing, waveguide-ish, and you can tell it is not symmetric. There's a certain angle to them. So how it works is this. Okay, we're going to go to the speaker, and then here, guys, show me, please. See, and what they'll do, they'll take out whatever ring they have, the blue one, and then they'll put something else. And by doing that, for example, one of the ring will narrow the angle towards me, giving me more presence in the mid-range. And there'll be some other that changes the soundstage, maybe a bit more depth to it or more open. So this is like a big wow at the audio show. Oh, Leonid, you never cease to amaze me here. Not disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that white Death Star is still quite amazing. See, you have multiple different kind of, they have 3 sets, right? You have 3 sets.
3 sets, yeah. So it's canvas already.
And also, I like this better, actually, the Elac, because it's more snappy. It's more precise.
Well,
I'm more used to that.
You can see it's a 3-way speaker, give you proper separation between instruments. It's a 2-way, so...
That's why it's a 3-way. That's why no wonder the separation is good.
Yeah.
Because as much as I like the white Death Star, it's a bit flu for me.
It's a smooth, open, round, it's very nice. Yeah. The sound on the Elipson is a smooth, open, easy listening. This more like analytical, like proper analytical. You listen, you can see instruments, position. It's give you way better, let's say, performance. In this case, let's say audio file.
I used to own Elac speakers, and for me, they're a little bit bright. These are not bright, and they actually, it's a big improvement compared to what I used to have.
Well, it's a top level. It's a
What?
Concentro. This one, Concentro S503, I think it's 12,000.
No wonder. Darn it. Beyond my budget. I don't think I can eat enough instant noodles to save up for this one. Leonid, give me a good price on that, man. Give me a heavy discount.
You have to sell noodles.
I should start an instant noodle brand or something. The Galleon instant noodle brand. All right, guys. Next, we have the Cabas Rialto. And these are active speakers. Yes, I know for some audiophiles, active speakers are like the devil, just like tone control. But you know what? If you give it a chance, you might be quite impressed with them, especially when it comes to bass. They defy the laws of physics. So these designs are very interesting. If you think about it, it looks like somebody put a ball in a cabinet. So who is this for? If you're looking for a minimalistic setup and you just want that clear and clean sound, these will do it. They're about $5,000 Canadian, I think. And the sound quality in terms of detail, clarity, it definitely lives up to it. Now next to it, you have the Cabas Keshi. Now those are the 2.1 speakers with its Death Star subwoofer. I mean, you should just buy it if you like Star Wars. Now these are actually a little bit more impressive in the sense that you see these 2 little speakers with the help of that subwoofer can actually fill the room. Next you have these speakers from Audio Vector. Looks vintage, doesn't it? I like the looks because if you look at from the top, the cabinet is very unique. Now this you don't see every day. Driving the speakers are these amps from Fez. I think, is that called Fez or Fez Audio? F-E-Z-Z. And I'm a sucker for tube amps. So it does add a bit of richness to the sound whenever I hear a system with tube amps. The whole system was driven by Fez, and the streamer was an Ever Solo. I tell you, man, ever since Steve Huff made that video on Eversolo's reputation has just exploded. I spent just a bit of time in this room. I don't really have an opinion on how it sounds. It's neither vintage nor modern. But knowing Audio Vector, who has been producing excellent speakers, I'm pretty sure if I bring it home, it will be fantastic. So I'm looking at a system that's over $100,000, right? So tell me what makes it so unique and special, this setup.
The principles of the company who founded Percasti came from Lexicon. And you know, my boss, I think he was employee number 5 at Lexicon. So there's a deep history, a rich history of building great audio gear.
Okay. Is there something special in the design, the circuit, that sets you apart from somebody else?
We design all our products in a dual mono configuration, and they're fully balanced. So they're fully differential. So each channel has, for example, in our DACs, each channel has its own power supply, has its own DAC, has its own clock, and we have a separate linear power supply that operates the digital. We pioneer our own filters, so we do a lot of work on the digital as well as the analog.
Okay, perfect.
I hope that's okay.
That's good, because from my understanding, a lot of gear on the market, even though they say, let's say it's XLR, they're not really XLR.
That's right.
Right?
That's true.
And my designer, like, that I know, he told me like 90% of it is not real.
Usually it's going to go to ground somewhere.
All right.
Ours are fully floating from the beginning to end all the way to the speaker.
You see,
So it
that's
leads
special.
to a very kind of open, transient.
Go back to the floating again.
Yeah, so with a fully differential system, you basically never go to ground. You're floating all the way to the speaker. And that leads to a very kind of open, free-flowing energy. And so hence the system's very transient, very dynamic, and there's also very low distortion. So it's a very we like to say that it's a tonally correct sound. It really sounds like the instrumentation that we're presenting.
So this is really cool. I get a chance to win a prize. You got a Wheel of Fortune here. Let's see if I'm lucky. And what do I win? Your choice. Look at that. Okay, no. What's the most expensive thing here?
Probably this one.
The cable? Does it have snake oil though? Does it have snake oil? No? Good. No. Forget it. No snake oil. I'll take the CD instead. All right? So next is the Burmester room. Apparently they had the piano somewhere in the middle of the room or somewhere not that well positioned on Friday. So I was told by some of my friends that it didn't sound too good. But by Saturday they moved the piano out and it sounded fantastic. So Burmester, for those who don't know this brand, they're quite popular in Asia. I remember asking my friends a long time ago when I bought my first Burmester preamp. And they're like, whoa, Burmester, you know that's like the next level up. And they're people who own Mcintosh and Audio Research. Yeah, Burmester products are quite expensive. I still have one of the older preamp, buttery smooth. Yes, the sound signature has changed over time, as I noticed from this demo here. Other things that we can talk about, it's the Bespoke project. And here, I'll share an interview.
What we also brought along to Toronto is an example of our bespoke project. So where we're different from other manufacturers and competitors is the fact that this isn't just a choice of colours that we're offering you. We're basically giving you the opportunity to come to us saying, I want this, not just colours, materials as well, okay? So this is in Porsche Mamba Green, this particular finish of this system. What you can specify to us is materials such as wood to match your furniture, fabric to match your sofa, colours to match your interior. We're having 2 large power amplifiers done at present, finished in anodized rose gold, as well as actual real gold-plated preamplifier of the 808 that you saw there. So we can do these things for customers. It takes around 12 weeks. Everything comes at a cost, of course, and it's from around 20% of the cost upwards depending on what configuration you want. But it is totally unique in the industry in hi-fi, in the fact that almost without exception, we can do what you want as far as finish and materials is concerned on any of our products. Absolutely, to the whole portfolio.
In the Harken room, the DAC caught my attention. And this is from Cinnamon Audio. And if you look at the DAC, it looks like an art piece. I thought it was made of cement, but it's made from, according to the website, robust sand-cast aluminum and bronze. The top part, that plate, man, I thought it was like a plate or something. It did not cross my mind that it was a DAC, but it sounded very analog. Next to it are two monoblocks, Onyx by Sensor Sound. You know, everybody is asking for like super high voltage, right? 500 watts, 700 watts, 200 watts. These are 45 watts. And as I said, I always would take quality watts over quantity. And these are $5,000 each. They sound like spectacular.
It was funny because when I brought it home, I had it on a credenza, and I had the amps inside, and it was just sitting on top. My wife comes home and she's like, she's ready to put a banana and maybe some peas in there or something. But actually, what it is it's an inverted bronze pendulum on elastomers, and it's tuned to take energy out of the chassis so it doesn't vibrate. So that's the concept. Yeah.
So we were listening to the DAC?
Yes,
just now.
we're just listening to digital there.
Man, I thought it was
Vinyl.
I know.
Yeah, I
This
know.
DAC is incredibly good.
How much?
19.5.
Okay, 19,500.
19,500. Yes,
Okay,
thank you. Sorry,
okay.
thanks for the clarification. It was 19.5. I'd sell like 100 of them. And then just for the turntable, this is a Jean Nante Lenko. This is actually an MK3, not MK2. It hasn't been adjusted, the nameplate. We're using a Tagenta arm from Serbia, and the cartridge is an Atis Mammoth. So it's using a mammoth tusk as a body.
What? Tusk?
This is a tusk from a mammoth. That's what the body's made out of.
Oh.
So many instruments used bones, and it has inherent qualities for music, and that's why they started using it. That's where you get the sound from, a lot of it.
How much is the cartridge?
I have to look at the prices. Around 14,000.
1,000?
Yeah, not $14. No, 14,000. Yeah.
Come on, Thomas, you know better.
I know, I said. Okay, and then, oh yeah, I almost forgot. These are the IK Audio record weights from Europe. These use different materials. They do use resonators, different woods, leathers, and even the spindle pushes down on it to take resonance out of the turntable spindle that's touching your record. So they have different models, and I have all of them here, kind of thing.
So how much is the turntable?
How much is the turntable?
Yeah.
18,000 just for the deck, and then plus arms and cartridges.
One of my favorite room was Finn Audio. They look like Tannoy, I guess, because the employees at Finn were ex-Tannoy employees. And I like them because they're not overly done. It's not super hyper, meaning that they're not ultra tight, they're not ultra fast, they're not hyper detail. They're what I call just right. I guess my taste has changed. I don't like things when it's just too fast. Let's take it down a notch. Let me enjoy the music. Powering the speakers are integrated amps from Canor. I don't know why they have two of them, maybe one for each channel. It's a tube integrated amp. And then they have a tube CD player also from Canor. And for network switch, they use Melco. They had a Puritan, I guess it's a power conditioner, I'm not too sure. But usually Puritan products have something to do with electricity. At the top of the speakers, they have these super tweeters. Now from my understanding, these are add-on, so you can buy them separately. Of course, I think they call it Vintage 15 because it comes with a 15-inch woofer, I'm guessing here. And at the bottom there's this little thing, I don't know what it is, maybe crossover adjustment. Apparently all the crossovers are cryo treated. Beautiful, beautiful finishing. I didn't touch it, I was too afraid to scratch it. Probably made of wood, who knows, but it's just spectacularly good looking. Let's take a look at this, the lights, because of the bass. they start moving. They were all centered properly before the audio show, and now they have moved. That is just nuts.
You're familiar with the GP3. This is the dark edition. It's got a harder coating on it, and it just appeals to a crowd that has black equipment looking for something more contemporary. And obviously,
it looks really, really good, man.
it's keen, eh? Like I like it, yeah, because the wood's cool, but this is,
Yeah, see, this is great. This is good stuff,
Yeah, basic cutaway. I won't get into the detail. But the one thing that we're really focusing on is our 3Ds right now. And so the primary, or the first, is the ability to disrupt upward vibration. The next one is the ability to deflect the airborne vibration. And the last one is the ability to dissipate, draw the energy down and away from the component itself, which is what we experienced last year. And so this is another idea where we're taking the cones that are available on the small platforms as well as the large platforms and selling those individually. And we've incorporated a chart which speaks to the benefits of going from a butcher block with metal spikes, which actually performed lower than the platform or the vibration station itself. And so then we have the same butcher block with our rubber cones. And so there's a difference of almost 10 dB, 100 hertz at 100 decibels. And then the GP3, just for the reference, with the sandwich insulative elements. And so this is the Purse 39, similar to the one next door, the black one. Dawn wanted maple for hit this room, and so we made a pair. One is the custom rack for the Riga Naiad. This is number 42. I think it was the last one made. And all of these are individual platforms similar to the unit that's on top of this. This also has upgraded all of the typical maple cartridges to our GP1. So every one of these shelves not only are adjustable, but they're also isolated individually.
Because of that, we could use the power supply, which is set at 18 volts now. As you increase the voltage, you tighten up the base. So I could increase the voltage, as you see, and we can get up to 24 volts. The base just slightly got tighter, or you can fine tune the base to your room, along with fine tuning it to the cabinet itself. Yes.
And these are JBL horns.
These are JBL, the 2365 horn with the JBL 2440 4-inch compression driver in the rear. Yes.
I see.
So the crossover point is around 400 hertz. So from the horn to the woofer, 400 hertz, nice and low. So the horn does most of the work, giving you the illusion of a single driver.
I see.
So that's the beauty of this.
I see.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Lots going on in the design. The front end is a Kuzma entry-level turntable at 7,000 Canadian. We're running the Kuzma Pure Sapphire arm. So the Pure Sapphire arm is 35,000 Canadian.
So this is for the whole stand is made by Derek then?
Yes.
This is way more impressive inside.
Oh my goodness.
Now we're talking.
Beautiful, man. Look at the design.
Let me bring up the light a little bit.
Yes, please.
Oh, that's the small model.
That's okay, man. This thing looks amazing already. Spectacular. Holy cow.
You will see, look on now, on this side, you will see that we reduce. We made the board that's able to support different capacitor, and this one is like twice the size of the other one, and it is a better capacitor for what we want him to do there. It can be a signal capacitor, but we use it in power supply.
Okay.
So we reduce some component on the other system. This one has also a special casing that allow to, by convection, it's not just a box, you don't have any hole.
Right.
So by convection, we make air circulating inside. In fact, those ends, instead of that, the small one, those we need to heat So we have heating resistors inside. You know, it's all a graph of performance, and you want to be at this exact, precise point. And every different temperature on an amp would change you that point. So you will be maybe at 90% what you can do the best, but we are sure that we are 100% because we control those temperatures. We even rise them up. In fact, we get more, with that kind of case, we remove more heat than we produce. So we had to add more heat to keep it balanced, but it's easier to add heat than to remove it.
I see. But how do you add heat to it?
We have heating resistors, just
so
aside.
heating resistors, okay.
For example, like that, we have an heating resistor
So this
inside.
one, so that's what you meant. Okay, I get. So it maintains a certain temperature for optimal performance.
That's it. Exactly like in a DAC, you have a clock, those TXAO clock that have internal temperature control unit. That we do the same thing with that.
I see.
Well, that's nothing new. You know, every real high-end medical electronics or military electronics do that.
Okay.
So it's just we use those technology, but we adapt those technology to audio market. Nobody done that before because it costs more money.
Right. So how much is this unit?
89,000.
I see. Okay.
Canadian.
Perfect. So I get asked a lot of times what cables to buy. And assuming that you don't want to buy Galing cables, I would usually recommend people to get Mess audio cables from the States. But there's actually a Canadian company here called Audio Sensibility here that is very, very popular in Canada. And a lot of people I know actually use Audio Sensibility. So I met John, who happened to watch my video. And I told him, you know what, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to give me your elevator pitch. Why should you choose Audio Sensibility? And he took the time to prepare because I gave him the homework. All right, John, you got 30 seconds.
Thank you, Thomas.
There you go. Hold this, please.
Thank you so much, Thomas. All our cables are custom built here in Canada.
Very good.
Using OCC, 95% of it is using OCC copper and silver products. They come with a 5-year warranty and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Part of the secret to our cables is the recipe, the execution, and some of the other products we use. You really don't know how it sounds until you put it into your system. So we offer a complete, full 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not happy, bring it back. No restrictions. You get all your money back.
And given it's made in Canada, it's in Canadian dollars, so if you have U.S. money, this is like 30% off, man.
The company has been established for over 25 years.
Okay, but let's say I'm in the States and I want to buy this. What do I do?
You could just go onto our online site and pre-order your cables, and we will have them shipped directly to you.
I want to make a joke with snake oil, but I guess I'll skip that part today then.
Yes, there's a lot of research into our cables.
Like that's the designer. What qualification does he have to build cables? Anybody can build cables these days, right?
That's
Anybody
correct.
can DIY cables. So what's so special about him?
Well, Stephen's got 2 engineering degrees, one in mechanical, one in metallurgy and robotics.
Metallurgy?
Metallurgy, I'm sorry about that.
Metal, so
he understands the different types of metals and how they react. One of the main ingredients in our cables is the cryogenics. We cryogenically treat everything from beginning to end.
That's expensive, huh?
Yes, it's a very expensive process,
yeah.
But it does add a good final touch to the sound of the cable.
Anything to add? Anything else to add?
Yes. It's proud that we're a Canadian-based company. Everything is made right here in Toronto, Ontario. And we also offer an unlimited 5-year warranty on all products purchased.
Okay, that's good. Okay, now you can relax. I got everything I need. So we can...
How did it look?
It's fantastic, see? Now, I'm not going to talk about the audio note room since I've already spoken about them in the past. But I do have to say, every time I see this 300B amp, man, I wish I won the lottery ticket. Now, for those of you who have never been to Canada and see Audio Notes room, the ambassador for them is a cellist called Vincent Bélanger. And every time at the show, he'll demo how well playing live integrates with the audio note system. So today, let me show you what I meant. So he's gonna play the cello, and then he's gonna play the music in the background. And the point is to see how well they integrate together. So I'm going to finish the video with Win Audio. Now, I'm sure you've seen them at different audio shows. They always have these fancy $500,000, $1 million system. And yes, they do sound spectacular, really high-end sound. This time I got a chance to talk to them. So I found something that they had, which was very interesting. It's called a ground box. Now, in Asia, this is quite popular. A lot of people know about it, but I don't think it's popular in North America because it falls in the quote-unquote snake oil territory. However, if you have an open mind, you might just want to give it a try. So I'll also finish it with an interview with and talking about the CD player. All right. So the show was definitely very successful in the sense that I got to see many different new stuff. And it was hosted in 2 separate hotels, and I even got free hot dogs. Tell me about this. What is this thing there?
So this is an N-track ground boxes from Sweden.
What is a ground box?
So basically, I remember the owner told me that there's like a huge copper plate inside, and with a mixture of different metals. What they're trying to do is like, so this is more like a magnet and track away the noise, so that it helps you to get like better soundstage depth. Better texture on the top ends, so it really opens up the sound. But it's kind of accessories where customer has to experience it, because even the manufacturers, they don't want to reveal all their secrets. They don't tell us what exactly inside. So but for me, I always stay open-minded, and you know, if it works for the system, I'll use it.
Okay.
Right.
So from my understanding, one side is silver and one side is copper.
Correct.
Did they decide that, or you decided?
It's a new product called Max T Mix T or Max T Mix T2. I can't remember. It's so new. And basically, you just add it to the binding post, and copper for the positive, and the silver one for the negative. And it gives me more dynamic, better density in the mid-range, richness, and it also opens up the top end as well. So it works really well. But
does it need the ground box to work, or is just
you don't need the ground box. Like even if you just get a pair of these, it will work quite well.
How much is a pair?
It's around 1,900.
What makes it so special? You see, I'm trying to find something to showcase that is a bit different than what we get generally. Because everybody says their stuff is the best, sounds good. It doesn't.
I didn't say it's the best, huh?
Jean-Marie, right? What makes your Transport CD DAC special? Right? It is a CD player after all, and it's $30,000 each, right? So give me some key points that makes your product stand out. Go for it.
First of all, I have to say that this is 100% designed and made in our workshops. So there's nothing that we import, of course, components, but there's nothing that we buy from outside or outside engineers. We have our own engineers, and we design everything in our workshop.
Where?
It's in the southwest of France, close to Toulouse. What makes all our devices very special is that we have a very great attention to power supply. That is, of course, designed in our design office. Power supply is the most important part of an electronic device. Choice of components, of course, is very important. And the last one is the number of capacitors, but this is the result of the fact that we want to have really dedicated power lines for every important component, and this necessitates, of course, a lot of capacitors line to give the precise power current to every and each component.
Thank you.
Ah, c'est ton thermomètre. There you go, sir. Enjoy. Enjoy.
Thank you.